All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing Swords. As always, I'm Andrew.
And I feel so much better in this professional setup than...
Was it not professional I was away?
It really was not. Jake's... I love Jake. He's so bloody lazy. So lazy.
Do you know what I love about getting you on? Is you will absolutely happily slag Jake off.
Oh, mate, it's easy. That's the problem. It makes it too easy.
Yeah, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit,
There
isn't
is indeed.
Yeah. I mean, like I said to you just before we recorded, I loved that within 5 minutes of the podcast, he was like, Alex, have you got anything? Nope.
That was all on him. 100% that was all on him. But because it's you, I did bring something, but we'll talk about it later.
It's very sweet of you. It's very sweet.
It's only one topic, and it's quite
well, that's more than Jake got, and that will upset him.
It will.
And do you know what? I'm absolutely here for it. He keeps abandoning us, so fuck him.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, how have you been, mate? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm not
a while to the listeners. I mean, they've listened to you more recently than I have.
This is getting a bit of an occurrence here. Me being on this.
I was going to say you're potentially like the third host of Crossing Swords at this rate, aren't you? You're on here all the time.
Tell me about it.
You're Mr. Reliable.
More dedicated than you and Jake.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I missed 1 week.
Still,
I'm allowed a holiday.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Even great men have to rest now and again.
Excellent. How was your week away?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I got a stinking cold while I was away, and I still saw in the last episode I was struggling by the end of it. I just couldn't stop coughing. But I'm a bit clearer this week, so I'm more looking forward to it.
Cool. And
it's just nice to have you back. It's nice to gaze into your eyes.
It's always lovely to be here.
I've already felt your foot graze my leg, so I know footsie's happening throughout the episode. The only sad thing about the camera angles, people are going to miss out on it. But they can still experience the raw sexual tension and magnetism in the room. It's wafting.
Getting hot under the collar here, mate.
Me too. I think you should take it all off. People on YouTube won't mind.
No. People on YouTube definitely don't want to see that. They definitely don't want to see that.
What if I do it too? I mean, you're safe. I'm not going to do that. But if I did, would you strip down as well?
Why? Why would I?
Also, Jake keeps talking a very big game about recording an episode in his Speedos.
Has he?
Maybe we've got to wait for him to get his summer body. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was about 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't 3. That feels harsh.
Well, okay, 2 years ago.
I swear.
So since he kind of started,
the new job
has definitely.
I mean, it feels very mean to talk about the man's weight when he's not here to and like, look, Jake knows we're the last people.
Of course we are.
Like anyone watching right now who's watching on YouTube can assess at the very least myself. I mean, I think you've always been a consistent.
Yeah.
You've never gone up or down. You've just always been
fat.
Whereas myself, I feel like just over the years I've progressively got larger. So it's absolutely no judgment, by the way, because Jake's in far better shape than I am.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I'm taller. So
you are taller, and so am I.
Absolutely.
Yeah, midget.
But no, we miss him. We'll mourn his absence.
We do. We always miss Jake when he's around.
What should we start with, Alex?
What's up again?
How was it doing the pod with Jake, though?
It was all right, actually. Again,
did it feel weird it not being me?
It felt weird not being with you and being at his house as well.
Yeah. See, for me, I think it would feel weird going back there now, but for a long time that was where we did the podcast.
Because you did it in the.
I mean, they had so many spare rooms.
The upper wing, didn't you?
Yeah, it was the west of the upper wing.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, look, that they had a spare room going.
Yeah, why not?
But we're here, bigger and better things.
I prefer it here.
Me too. It's more home. It's more lived in.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, some of the comments have said it's like a council house. It's not very nice. It's absolutely not a council house.
No, it's not a council house.
But anyway,
yes,
fuck them.
Yeah. You're saying fuck you to your listeners?
Yeah, we've been doing that since the beginning.
Okay,
I mean, there's not many of them, and they seem to have quite thick skins. So I think we're safe.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the fan base of around 40 people that we've acquired so far.
In what, 5 years?
Look, that's 10 people a year. Do you know what I mean? It's 4 years. It's 10 people a year. We go at this rate, we're going to get somewhere eventually.
Oh, mate, it's going to be in about 50 years' time. Brilliant.
We're providing a public service.
Always.
You've been travelling recently. You've been away with Ash and Jake.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, where are your 3 favourite places that you've ever been?
Ever been?
Yeah.
So, you know what my favourite place is Skiathos in Greece.
Okay, is that one of the smaller islands?
Such a lovely island.
I've never been.
Oh, mate, it's so beautiful. It's friendly people, lovely scenery. Like you can't go wrong with a Greek island. You really can't.
I've always loved going to Greece.
Any type of Greek island it's just so nice.
Crete's probably my favourite one.
Crete's one of the bigger of the islands.
Definitely, it's massive. Crete.
Mum and Dad went to Rhodes.
Yeah, Rhodes is all right.
Rhodes is nice.
The old town's nice.
Yeah, so I think me and Jake went there last year.
Okay.
On our holiday when you were. Well, it was this time last year when you were at Lindsay's last year. And Ash,
oh, nice. Oh, I remember because you guys posted a photo of
a beer.
A menu or something.
Yeah,
and we were like, are they in another fucking country?
And they haven't told us.
Do you know what I mean? It's just rude.
Yeah, so they got that big castle in the old town.
Yeah,
Rhodes, and with me and Jake took about walk around it, and we're just like, it's like never ending. It's just so bloody big.
It is massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, where else did I like? I'll tell you what, Budapest, where we've been recently, is lovely.
Is it Hungary?
Hungary, yeah. Because you've got the two towns. You've got the old town, I believe, which is Buda.
Okay.
And then you got the newer town, which is Pest.
Oh, and they've just made it one.
And they made it into one.
Respect.
But that's nice. We went to the...
what part was nicer, the new or the old? It's upset some Hungarian people here, Alice. It's isolate people.
I preferred the older town. You get a bit more history there than the newer bit.
You would say the new bit's trash, is what you're saying.
Well, it weren't trash. It was just...
shit.
Just a little bit... But yeah, don't die.
It's a small cough. Calm down.
And
move on.
Sorry, move on. And so yeah, so Budapest was lovely. Loved Skiathos. I said Prague for the beer.
Yeah, is it really cheap?
Beer. Yeah.
Is it good beer or just cheap?
Yeah,
beer?
no. It's good and cheap beer.
I don't know what it is. I really don't want to go to that part of Europe.
Really?
I think it's because of the film Hostel.
Oh, okay.
That freaked me out watching that. They went, I think it was Prague.
Was it Prague? Yeah.
And I was like, look at me.
Yeah.
They're going to pay to torture and rape me. And I'm not the one who's going to get paid. Or
you have to pay them.
No, rude. That's rude. Jake, you're supposed to be rude to Jake.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Not me.
I'm supposed to be... I'm
your ally.
I'm normally rude to the person who I'm doing the podcast with, aren't I?
No, normally we're quite civil.
Oh, okay.
But we can... I mean, I've got beef. We've got beef we can talk about.
We have got beef.
You're part of a local community group. You're not going to expect this beef.
Oh,
I think you're going to know what it is, though.
Okay.
Your local community group runs quite a successful and popular fireworks show, or did until this year. It's been controversial in our local area.
It has.
What was the reason?
The main reason is...
Because you've upset my nephews.
Really? Oh, what done?
No, you haven't. I just wanted to make you feel bad.
Oh, thanks. So more...
Were you part of the problem, Alex? Did you vote to get rid of it?
No, I voted to keep it.
Good man.
I voted to keep it just throw... Well, to be honest, I was going to throw it at it.
Look, I'll be fair. Obviously, I'm being a bit... I'm joking with you.
Yeah.
I know from having known you doing it and help organise it over the years, it is incredibly laborious and you guys have to put a lot of effort into not just setting it up, but the clean up afterwards. The hundreds of pallets you've got to get hold of and all of that.
But council costs were the big thing.
Really? The council?
Council costs.
What, having to pay them to use the park? So what wankers?
I know, tell me about it. So what they were trying to make us do last year was pay them £1 for every person that went into the park.
Really? Instead of just like a flat fee?
Instead of just a flat fee.
Okay, whereas before it was a flat fee.
It was just a flat fee, and that would have probably taken all our profit away.
Right, okay. And obviously you guys are a community group. The money goes to charitable causes and things like that. Yeah. So it's not like it's going in your guys' pockets.
Of course it's not. And again, it's dwindling numbers of people in
I think, do you know what I think really rubbed people up the wrong way, just as an outsider? There was some post where they said something like, due to people standing on the roads outside and not paying to come in. And I think that pissed people off because they were having a pop at, whoever did that post was having a pop at the local community.
Yeah, probably.
And I sort of get it. Look, I'm guilty of it. I haven't paid to go in to see those fireworks for a long time.
I said, even before, I was saying this to one of the guys who I played darts with yesterday.
Yeah.
Even before I joined Round Table, I can't remember the last time I went to the park to watch the fireworks.
Really?
I can't remember the last.
See, it's always been something every year.
Yeah.
I've gone and done now, like me and my family.
Yeah.
So we just didn't do anything this year.
No. So
because then they sold you guys handed it over to a private company.
We didn't hand it over to anybody.
Really?
Anybody at all?
So did you guys just like step back from doing it?
Completely step
so
back
was it the council that did that?
That was a local community trying to get a company called Feasty Fest.
Okay.
And they do something in the summer. They did a big event in Lonsarts Park.
Okay.
So they were there. What can you call it? So they were there, like,
event organisers.
Yes, that's the one. And they're thinking, if they put on that event, they could put on this event.
Yeah.
But again, apparently they sold quite a few tickets for that.
Yeah, and there was a booking fee, and people were really pissed off.
Yeah,
and then when people got refunds, they weren't being refunded the booking fee.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah. So I feel like you guys have taken a lot of. I think people have assumed from the outside, you guys handed it off to this company.
We just said we're not doing it this year. If anybody wants to do it.
So who brought them in? Was it the council?
No, that was a local Facebook group.
Oh really? They just contacted this events group and they were like, yeah, cool, we'll do it.
I think so. We had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Fair enough. Interesting. For any of our international listeners, they're not going to give a flying fuck. But I just thought it was an interesting thing to talk to you about.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because you've got inside knowledge.
I'm not inside knowledge because
Have you left the?
No. I'm still part of Round Table and everything like that. So as I was saying, I was trying to push for another year of doing it. Absolute throw everything at it, make it.
Because you guys stopped doing the bonfire, didn't you?
So that was down to the council as well.
Okay.
So that was down.
Well, I sort of understood that. I assumed that was for like green reasons of not putting that much stuff in the atmosphere.
We're not. So it was. So they made it a law that the bonfire couldn't be above a certain height.
Right. Okay.
So it must have been like 6 feet off ground level.
Oh wow! And how tall was it before?
It must have been at least 20, 30 feet.
Fuck. So yeah, it would have been pointless to do, wouldn't it? No one would have seen it.
We got that dip as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a huge crater in that park, isn't it?
If we can only go 6 foot from
it's
there,
not even going to come out of the crater.
It's going to be nothing. So that's one of the reasons why we.
Because that used to burn so hot that even if you were like on the opposite side of the road outside, you could feel the heat.
Yeah, it was still smoking on a Monday morning.
Shit.
Yeah. So obviously, because sometimes I used to do the clean up for the ash, and some of it was still hot when we were cleaning it up. But yeah, so yeah, that was the two major reasons are council costs and dwindling the amount of manpower. And to be honest, for the amount it was costing us to put on, and the amount of money we were getting in the park because we weren't getting the people in the park, it just wasn't worth it. It's really if that was a business, it would have gone ages ago.
Okay,
but because we weren't it for the local community.
It's a shame the council itself won't like.
But then again, apparently the council said that we didn't talk to them about it, and the amount of emails back and forth that we had.
I think the council just clearly didn't want any responsibility in the public eye.
Of course they don't. But it's one department not talking to another department and not talking to another department.
It's as old as time with government.
Because it's so like widespread, that council. And then there's obviously, because we merged, some of it merged with either Merton or Kingston Council.
Okay.
And obviously there's people.
Because they've closed the local offices as well, haven't they? I didn't realise that until recently.
Yeah. So I think everything's been moved to like Kingston now.
Oh, wow.
So obviously the people who we were dealing with, like, we've been dealing with for years.
Yeah.
Not there anymore. And it's people from outside who don't know what it is.
So it's genuinely, it sounds like it's down to the council that it all went tits up.
Yeah, it's
and look, I can understand you guys not wanting to have to keep doing it every year.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask for volunteers to do it?
Of course do. We always ask for our volunteers. But we have a set core of volunteers who always done it, and always.
But I mean, like, is that within the group or outside as well?
That's all outside. Okay, so like,
fair enough.
Guide and like scout groups helped us out. Radio St Helier, they were a big contributor of people. Just all local.
How many people
charities.
would it normally take to set it up and clear it away road.
So to be honest, with the setup, that is the core group of us. So people from round table, and 41 Club, and people who are just like there in the in that sort of sphere. But because the event on the night, it needs people to patrol and everything, and man the gates and everything like that.
Go around with buckets.
And that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And so,
how many people would you say?
At least 200 people.
Fucking hell! Now, how many have you got in your group?
So in our actual like round table, like current people in table, we've got 13 people.
Wow! So do multiple round table groups come together to do it, or is it just
no? It's just us. It was just us.
Oh wow! So we've got. So if you have, how are you getting 200 people?
So these are from the charity groups to help us out and everything like that.
Okay,
so we get
fair
people,
enough.
But
that's a lot of logistics having to organise that many different groups, and
it was logistically.
And I bet you get dropouts on the day.
Yeah. And again, it was the logistics of setting it up and
doing
everything.
I wouldn't want to do it if I'm being honest with you. I wouldn't want to be a part of organising it.
To be honest, I haven't been majorly part of the organising of it. Never done it. So I did a little bit when I was chairman 2 years ago, which would have been our last fireworks.
Hey, big boy.
Hey. So I kind of understood a little bit of what was going on, but for what was going on behind the scenes, and so what I've been told, it's just the amount of stuff that needs to be done. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and for a group of 13 people to organise all of that, and if all of you aren't even involved in the organising of it, that's a lot. That means it's probably on 2 or 3 people.
There was a core of about 6 people who'd done it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the core. That was a core group.
That's mental that 6 people pulled off that for that many years as well. So that is actually
it was probably bigger, like.
Because at one point, wasn't it like the 5th best fireworks show in the UK?
Yeah. So I think it was probably one of the best fireworks show in the south of England.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's quite a big achievement. Like 100%. I said, I still think it's sad it's over, obviously. Of
course it is.
Because it was always a big night for the community. The whole surrounding roads got shut down. and
it does bring the community out. But
always.
Again, it's...
And we found a really nice spot last year, one of the roads just off of it by a school on this corner, and you got the perfect view of everything. Yeah. So, we were part of the problem not paying, but times are hard.
Of course it is. And that's another thing as well. People weren't paying because of what's happening. And the amount of...
Another reason to hate the fucking Tories.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. Fuck the Tories.
Another round, I tell you what, actually... Let's ease into the podcast. Okay. Jake has, as always, sent us a little message. So we're going to have a quick listen of that.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, in wake of the absolutely ridiculous questions that Andrew's been asking in recent weeks, I'm going to ask one myself and extend the theme, mostly because I'm not there to have to answer it. So, is a drawer on when it's open, on when it's closed, or, off when it's open, off when it's closed? That is my question. Enjoy discussing it. You will probably both love it and engage in it, and you're both fools for doing so. But nevertheless, I love you both, and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Do you know what? He keeps saying how much he hates that question, but it keeps coming back.
It does.
Did he ask you that again? Because I did add it on.
You'd listen to the podcast.
Yeah, but it was a couple of weeks ago, so I can't necessarily remember it.
It's an inanimate object. It's neither on nor off.
No, look. Yes, 100% correct, but that's not the point of the question.
What's the point of the question then?
In my opinion, it's a very good way of seeing how people think differently.
Okay.
Because, loads of people I've met agree with me that they think the main function of a door is to separate 2 areas.
Okay.
So, in my head, if you were thinking of it as something that's on or off, it being closed means the door's on.
Okay. No, it's an inanimate object. It doesn't matter.
No, look, fine. I think that says a lot about you that you're not willing to engage with it. You don't like to engage in deeper thinking, I would accuse.
Well, yeah, but it's just the way I think, though, I think.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think it's a good question, because you get to see what people are like based off that question.
I'm kind of straightforward. Well, this is this. It doesn't relate to that.
no one is ever. It's not going to pick up as a thing. People aren't going to go, "Oh, that door's on right now."
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the point of the question. The question was just, I genuinely found it interesting when I because at first I thought it was a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
And then I asked people just to see what their reaction was, and most people were like, "That's a stupid question." I was like, "Yeah, but take yourself past the stupid question bit, and answer the question. Like, just logically try and think about it of how you think."
See, the thing is, if I was going to go past that,
do it. Go past the stupid question. This is how we find the answers to the greatest myths in the universe. We'll get to Jake's question in a minute. By the way, we haven't forgotten about that.
I would say the door is on when it's open.
Fair enough. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think you're wrong. Why? Back up your argument. Where's the logic?
Now you're putting me on the spot now.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
So I think, as you said, it's to communicate between.
So you would what you're going to say is the function of a door is to let you through spaces.
100%.
I think it's a secondary purpose.
And you think it's?
I think that is one of its purposes. You're absolutely right. It's one of its purposes. But I think the fundamental function of a door, like the main door to your house, is your front door.
Yeah, of course
you don't leave that wide open, do you?
No.
You leave it closed. Why?
Yeah. So people can't get in the house.
Yeah. So but you just said you think its primary function is to let someone through.
It all depends on what type of door it is, though.
Right, now you can go deeper into it and have that argument.
Because if you're saying like
I would still argue like that door is on right now.
That door is
because I don't want the cat being able to get in. Because if he comes in, he'll jump up on that sofa and he'll sit in front of the camera and he'll sit and meow at us.
Okay.
So the function is to separate the space, isn't it?
I still think a door is supposed to be letting people through.
Fair enough.
And that's why I think if it's closed, so like a light.
I love the fact this is getting discussed again. By the way.
So I think a light, obviously this light is on now.
Yeah.
And it is to light up the room.
Absolutely.
And I think if you...
It doesn't have a secondary purpose. It's not there for aesthetics. Do you know what I mean?
It can be, but what?
Well,
so
a chandelier is not made of bulbs. It's made of crystal. The chandelier is a separate object.
It's still a light though, isn't it?
No.
What?
It's not a light though, is it?
But it is.
Most chandeliers are made of jewels.
Okay.
Those things aren't lights.
Yeah, but you've got the lights at the top.
Yes, that's a separate part.
No, it's not.
The bulbs are separate from the chandelier.
No, the whole of that light is chandelier.
You can get chandelier lights. You can get like lights that are in the shape of a chandelier with bulbs on them.
Okay.
I wouldn't call that a chandelier. For me, a chandelier is like the one they drop in Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
That's made of like glass
that is a chandelier light.
Yeah, but the lights are separate usually, aren't they?
No, because it's all connected into one, though, isn't it?
It depends. Again, I think chandeliers are...
I think because you got the chandeliers that come down, but it's all connected to one thing.
No, but usually the bulbs are like either in the middle of it all. They're not like
but what
within the jewels.
What are the bulbs connected to?
What do you mean? It's connected to the wires and the fixture.
Yeah, so
the chandelier is also connected to.
So that's a whole one thing then, isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, it depends on the design of it. We'd need to look at specific makes of chandeliers.
So normally from
what I've seen with chandeliers is that you have the light fitting, right?
Yeah.
Which has the bulb attached to it.
Okay.
Just like you would the lampshade, for example.
Yeah.
And then or the light shade. And then you fit the light shade on it. The bulb is part of the light fixture. The shade then goes over it. That's in my head. I could be wrong about the design of a chandelier. I could be. But in my head, that's what a chandelier is as well. The chandelier is separate from the light fixture.
No, because the chandelier is...
Well, no, because the chandelier is not built into the ceiling. It's removable. Do you know what I mean? You don't remove the whole light fixture to remove a chandelier. I
think
wouldn't have thought.
The chandelier, you get the light and the fixture and the chandelier
I need
bit
to have a
all
look at
coming
chandelier.
together.
I need to have a look at
it. I don't think off a chandelier you can't take the crystals off because it's connected to the frame.
No, you can't take the crystals off.
You can't take.
I'm not arguing that you can take the crystals off.
But
they're attached to a fixture, like metal bars, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is then attached to the light fixture. Like in every room in your house, you have what's called...
there's also like things that you can get with chandeliers that you can get with light fixtures, like you might be
right that the bulbs are built into a chandelier
into the frame.
Just looking at images. Again, it depends on the make of chandeliers. Like there's chandeliers that are made of glass and lights by the looks of things.
Yeah.
So I think there's both. Looking at photos, a lot of them have lights in.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a chandelier. What was the argument you were making about a chandelier at the beginning?
It can be aesthetically.
Well, yeah, so cool, a chandelier can, but a light bulb, no.
But I'm not talking about a light. I'm talking about
No, you started off with a light bulb and then we went on to chandeliers because
okay.
you were arguing that that's aesthetic.
Okay, so I'm talking about like, okay, so a light. Okay. I just like that argument. That's quite fun, actually.
I told you, it's an interesting way to see how different people think.
Yeah.
So Jake's question was, with a drawer,
Yeah.
is it, when it's, what would you say?
So what, is it open when it's, is it on when it's open?
What
or
would
is it
your
on when
natural opinion be of, because for me, I'll put myself out there, I think when a drawer's closed,
it's on.
It's on. That's where I'm at, just off the cuff.
Okay, so I think a drawer is... It's used to store... Yeah, okay, I think I can agree with you with that.
Yeah.
Because you're only...
Its main function is to store things, in my head, but you also need...
You need to open it.
Yeah, but that's the secondary action, isn't it? What are drawers in your house doing 99% of the time? They're closed.
They're closed.
Storing things.
That means it's off.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
How does that mean it's off, Alex? It's providing its main function.
When you want to use it, so like 99%.
I think what we're going to learn with these questions, right?
Yeah.
Is that if your mindset is of a certain way, so for example, for the door question,
yeah,
you're like, no, it's off if it's closed, which
yeah.
I think is insane because I've just got a very different
yeah.
way of looking at it. On most of these sort of questions, you're going to align in the same way.
Yeah.
So like you're like, no, the main purpose is to access it, whereas I disagree. The main purpose is what it's providing 99.9% of the time.
Okay. So with a light,
yeah.
So 99% out of the time that the light is off.
What?
So when
again, that depends where the light is.
The light is
it?
only on when it becomes dark. No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because you don't need the light when it's light outside.
Okay.
Because there is light already. But
yeah.
its main function is to provide light. It's not to be off.
Okay.
So you think the main function of a light bulb is to be off?
No,
is that the ground hill you're going to die on?
Yes, it is. The hill.
I think I understand what you're saying in the sense of you're trying to take the logic of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's not providing a function being off a light bulb, whereas a drawer being closed is providing a function.
But saying that, when you turn your lights on,
right,
then it's on. So when you're opening a drawer, that means it's on.
You can make that argument.
That is my argument.
You can absolutely make that argument. That's a reasonable. That's a far more reasonable argument to make. But my argument is that basically whatever function it's providing 99% of the time is what I believe its main function is.
Again, it all depends.
And that's where the dividing line is for us.
Depends on
what you think the main function
is. Yeah.
But that's why I like those sort of questions, because I feel like you get to.
I think when the drawer is open, it's on, because you're using it to access.
Again, I think that's absolute insanity. And the thing is, that's not me saying the drawer's function is to stay closed, because that's what Jake and little Andrew, because I've argued with him about it in private with the doors. They think I'm arguing that, like, the door's function being closed, why not just have a walk zone? Because you do still need to access that space. So like, you still need to be able to access the drawer and get to the stuff in it. So it absolutely needs to be able to open and close. Yeah. But its main function is to have stuff out of the way, safe and secure.
But surely, because you're using it, so say you're using the light.
I would say it's being used right now when it's closed.
Yeah, but you're using it to open when you're opening it as well.
Yeah, because it's got more than one function.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that.
We're fucking half an hour in and we've discussed absolutely nothing.
Has it already been half an hour already?
It's been half an hour.
Wow.
Fuck it, let's dive in. Gary Lineker's left match of the day, Alex.
He has.
What do you think?
That's down to him, isn't it? I think he's been it's down to him. I don't.
Well, for starters,
is there a reason why he's left?
He hasn't chosen to leave, by the way.
Has he been moved on?
Belated. For me, suddenly changing subjects and getting into something else. I
haven't read. I knew he was leaving.
I looked into it this morning because I didn't know. Because they put it out that he was like stepping down, didn't they? Or that he was leaving. He was leaving it. Yeah. He's on about 1.35 million a year.
Hell.
He's offered to take a 350 grand pay cut. It's basically his contract's up at the end of the season.
Okay.
1 second. I'm back. So his contract's up at the end of the season. He wanted to renew it. They didn't.
But the BBC didn't.
So he'll after the
BBC,
World Cup.
Has the BBC given a reason why?
No. No, there was no detail as to why they've made that decision. The general consensus is they're trying to save money, basically.
Fair enough.
My opinion is it's because he's outspoken and talks about political issues and issues around the world. And I don't.
Again, it's the BBC, and they don't like you doing that, do they?
And they don't like it. I think it's ridiculous that a football pundit isn't allowed to talk about political events.
The thing that's the problem. He works for the BBC, and they can't be
talking about football. If he was like, I don't know, someone of responsibility at the BBC, which he's not.
But you can say that.
He's not
Match of the Day has got a huge audience.
Absolutely, but it's not a responsible position.
Well,
but like, if he was going on air and like saying mad shit on air, fair enough. But he's not. On his own private time, he's talking with his conscience, and I don't think that should be punished. But the thing is, he's not going to be hard up. He's not going to struggle.
Of course, he's not.
But yeah, it makes me think a bit less of the BBC. I think it would have been nice for him to leave on his own terms, finding out that it was him being removed, essentially.
But you see, isn't he seem quite left-wingy?
Oh, he's totally left-wing. Yeah. I think he's just a nice bloke.
And the BBC can't...
Well,
they're very middling.
I think they say they're quite middling. But I think if it was someone of the right wing talking about what they thought, I don't think they would have their contract cancelled.
Really?
I know.
I think they would.
No, I think if you see anyone from the BBC interview anyone, don't do their job properly. They don't report on things properly, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we like to think they're impartial.
Like the BBC anyway.
I wouldn't trust them as a news outlet for myself. I will check it to verify
that something's happened.
Yeah, but beyond that, I will look elsewhere for the information on it. Yeah. Because I don't think they fulfil the function they used to.
No.
The only good thing about Gary Lineker, did you think he was good?
To be honest, I haven't really watched Match of the Day in ages.
I watch it now and again. I used to watch it all the time, but he's been,
to be honest,
the presenter as long as I can remember. Yeah,
because he started
25 years.
Was it 25 years?
99 he started.
99 he started, yeah.
But I don't think I watched Match of the Day when I was 7.
I don't particularly like... I just prefer to watch the highlights. When the punditry comes on, it's like my mind goes blank. So
sometimes I enjoy it.
I think he's a good enough presenter. Don't get me wrong.
I think he's a really good presenter. To be fair,
it was when he done it in his boxers because Leicester won the league.
I had a lot of respect for him for doing that. 100%. To be fair, because he said
he was going to do it, and he did it.
I bet that must have been like the best and worst day. Do you know what I mean? Because we've won the league, but I've also got to get my kit off.
Yeah, but
he's not a bad looking bloke for his age. He's in good shape.
In good shape, wasn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think he's a good bloke.
Some ex-footballers have let himself go, but
go on. I know who you want to say. Everyone hates him.
Who?
Rooney.
Oh yeah.
I thought that's who you were implying.
No. There was a couple like Gascoigne. A little bit.
That was always going to happen.
Yeah. Gerrard's let himself go a little bit as well, I think.
Well, he's living the high life. Is he still out in Qatar?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah, go on.
Let me have a quick Google. Pad for a second, Alex.
Pad. I am going to ask a related question to this, but when we finished with this, because you think of people getting done for something.
Yeah, he's still in.
He is still in Qatar.
Still in Saudi. Sorry.
So I am gonna ask my question. If you're okay with that,
please do.
What do you think about the David Coote thing?
That was on the list of things to talk about. Have you listened to it?
I haven't listened to it.
Do you want to?
Go on then.
I can play the. Just bear in mind, people. There is. Yeah, I've got the.
There is explicit language in it.
What did you think
very
of the
explicit.
Liverpool game earlier when you were fourth official?
Liverpool was shit.
What do you think of Jurgen Klopp?
Cunt. Absolutely.
Just for context for a moment, before I continue it, this was recorded the night 2 years ago or something when Liverpool were playing.
Won the league? Was it when Liverpool won the league?
Yeah, I think during lockdown they played Burnley. It was 1-1.
The draw between Burnley. Yeah, so sorry, I did have it up. So in the clip that surfaced on media, claimed that Klopp was arrogant and he accused him of lying after a 1-1 draw between Liverpool and Burnley during Project Restart in 2020.
Yeah, there's about a minute left of the clip.
What would you say? Why would you say that Jurgen Klopp was a cunt?
Aside from having the right pop at me when I ref them against Burnley in lockdown, then he accused me of lying and then just had a right fucking pop at me, and I've got no interest in speaking to someone who's fucking arrogant. So I do my best not to speak to him. Milner's all right. I get on with So
James Milner. You get someone James Milner.
You can see me there with mask on.
Yeah. Mask on, obviously.
Yeah. COVID, got to be done. Social distancing, right? We're 2 meters apart.
We have to social distance.
Yeah. So, but oh my God, German cunt, fuck me.
That was a bit Partridge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Long story short, Jurgen Klopp's a cunt. Liverpool are all fucking bellends, and we hate Scousers.
Well said. Well said.
No, see, I like Scousers. I like Scousers.
No.
I won't hear any slander against Scousers. But that's not the issue at hand here. No. What did you think? Or what do you think now you've heard it?
Oh, to be honest, I think, again, unfortunately, he's in that public eye that, unfortunately, it's come out. If it stayed, like, I don't know why he's recording it. Apparently, he did have quite a bit of cocaine during that. Was it the same evening?
There's other videos of him in the same evening.
Cocaine.
Not just cocaine, but off his tits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's obviously, he thought it was going to stay within his inner circle. It's obviously leaked out. Unfortunately, that is his opinion. It's his opinion, but unfortunately, because he's a Premier League referee, it's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know, personally,
go on.
I'm sort of, I wouldn't say I'm on his side, but...
Well, that Jurgen Klopp's a cunt.
Yeah, the German, he didn't need to mention the fact he was German.
Yeah.
But I actually don't think, as a manager, in terms of the way he comes across, that he comes across as a particularly nice person.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think I've probably called him a cunt at times myself.
Yeah.
Like, particularly, the moment I really didn't like was, I don't remember when it was. It was obviously when he was last manager at Liverpool. But there was a game where it'd been announced they were going to have another early kickoff, and he'd been throwing a paddy about the fact they kept having early kickoffs. And someone asked him a question about it, and it was slightly tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But he was so rude back to the person who asked the question. I was like, that's unnecessary.
There's always an excuse of Jurgen Klopp. There was always an excuse for why they didn't win. So I think there was a game a couple of years ago at Celeste.
Yeah.
Pitch is too narrow. The pitch is too narrow. It's not wide enough, so we're going to get our way players.
The thing is, like,
the grass wasn't cut short enough for us, and no, seriously.
No, I believe it. I can absolutely believe it.
Crazy the amount of excuses that he can come out with.
The thing I would say slightly in his defence, and I've just been quite critical of him, is that he's clearly a very passionate person.
Of course he is.
And so with that, you're going to get the sore loser side of it, and the arrogance, and but what I can't criticise him on is that he is a fantastic football coach.
He is a very good football manager.
But I'm sort of like, don't let him manage Liverpool games, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, get him clean as well. Like, I think that's really important. He's going to lose his job, sadly. But personally, I would maybe demote him down to the Championship. I'd put him on some sort of programme to make sure he's sober, and because like he shouldn't be doing cocaine and all of that. So yeah, like I don't have an issue with him. Like, he should be punished for it, because if you're stupid enough to get recorded saying those things.
Yeah.
Whether he thought it was going to stay in his own
and now all the Liverpool fans are going up like, oh, see, told you.
Yeah, that's the part that annoys me about it, because it's being used as a way of saying, like, our refs, like, against clubs. And it's like, the problem is also, you can't expect anyone to be completely unbiased.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Of
course it is.
And there's loads of refs that have managed all sorts of games where before the game you'll see, they're fans of this club. Or and it's like, but... Also, who wants to be a fucking ref, by the way? Exactly. It's not an easy job. It's a thankless task. It looks like I wouldn't want to be a referee, particularly not.
I've done it a little bit.
You must just get absolute dogs abuse.
Yeah, 100%.
He probably does think Jurgen Klopp's a cunt.
Yeah.
Because he behaves like one towards people. I think it will be harsh. He's probably going to lose his job. At time of recording, he hasn't.
No,
he's just
been suspended by the... So he's been suspended by the PGMOL, UEFA and FIFA.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the fact he's clearly abusing substances, so I think he needs help.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should lose his job.
No.
So that's my hot take on it.
Oh, I think you're right, 100%. It is, as I said, it was unfortunate that the video has come out. he's obviously done it. Apparently, when they were in the video saying this cannot come out. He is a Premier League referee.
Yeah,
this has got to stay within us and everything like that.
It's always going to get out, though.
Of course it is, but it's taken just 2 years, 3 years for it to come out.
Yeah,
which is quite odd. You
can it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be falling out with someone, or someone got offered some money, or do you know what I mean? Someone got desperate and asked around if someone wanted to buy the story and the footage, and
was it the Mirror who put it out there? Or
I'm
was
not
it the
sure
Sun?
who released it.
It was one of the
because
tabloids.
at first I was like, I didn't look into it at all. Everyone was going mad about it, and I thought it'd be a good thing to talk about, so I looked into it. But I'm not shouldn't have behaved like that. Having seen the other videos of him that evening, I think taking anything he said particularly seriously is a stupid thing to do. But I think it's more concerning. Everyone's been talking about sacking him rather than should we make sure he's all right.
Make sure he's okay.
Because ultimately he's not really done anything that horrific. He's just called someone a cunt. Leave the German part out, but at the same time he's on coke and off his tits.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Going back to Gary Lineker for a second, who do you think should replace him? Who would you like to replace him?
Well, it's not going to be.
It's not going
to be Jermaine Genius anymore.
No,
is it?
that was always the rumour, wasn't it? That he was being groomed for it. But he was too busy grooming women.
Yeah, Alex Scott. Yeah, I think
I really like
that's a good shout.
I think it's going to be Chappers.
I love Mark Chapman.
I think he's a nice bloke. I wouldn't be against it. I think he's a little bit dry for me.
Okay.
It would be really good to see Alex Scott doing it, but I think she'll get too much hate.
But I think she might. No, because it's not. She doesn't do Final Score anymore, does she?
I'm not sure.
Because she was doing. I'm sure she was doing Final Score.
What is Final Score?
BBC's version of Gillette Soccer Saturday.
Right. Okay. I don't think I've ever watched that.
Oh, okay.
I've never really watched Gillette Soccer Saturday.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I've seen the famous clips of it and stuff of Cammy being like, "What's going on?"
I
don't know.
Red card.
But so you'd like Chappers?
I like Mark Chapman. Mark Chapman. I think Mark Chapman has been coaxed into the job as well, though, because he had done much of the day too and everything like that.
Have you heard the latest that a Premier League footballer has been arrested for sexual assault?
Nope.
Yeah, there's a Premier League footballer. I don't know whether to say their name because I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I think it's Thomas Partey.
Oh, okay.
Because he's been arrested before for it, and then it went away. And,
yeah.
That's the rumours.
Because that was when
allegedly, I'm not saying it is for certain Thomas Partey, but that's the word on the street.
Because last time he got done, the Arsenal fans were up in arms about it, and some of the Arsenal fans got a plane to go around Sellers Park.
What to say? Don't play him?
Yeah. Because it was literally the week after that came out. It was Thomas Partey. We were playing them at home, and it was on BT, I think, as well. It was an early kickoff.
Because he's been, whoever it is, has been arrested for 3 rapes and 1 sexual assault.
Wow.
One of the victims has said she tried to kill herself because seeing him play week in, week out on television and him being lauded and getting away with it. Was doing her in. Wow. And one of them said if he'd have been suspended when she made her case against him, the other 2 victims would have most likely would have never happened.
That's not good, is it?
What's worrying me though is whether it's with Mason Greenwood, because I don't know how much you're on Twitter.
A little bit.
All I see on there about him is wanker United fans that are saying stuff like we've been gaslit out of having one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, he's apparently doing well in France.
Yeah. But the thing is, he probably was one of the better strikers.
Oh, in terms of his
talent
on fire at the time,
brilliant.
if I remember correctly.
But if you go and do stupid things like that,
how would you?
Why you should be punished? Oh, hello,
is that your foot?
That is
We're
my
playing
foot.
footsie again.
You should be punished.
Yeah.
You go and did he? Because he got it was out of court settlement in the end, wasn't it?
No, what happened was he was accused of rape and violence by his now wife.
Yeah, because it was his girlfriend, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she posted videos and audio online of what he'd done to her, and it's very clear, it's indisputable what he did.
Yeah.
And what happened was, apparently, from what I've seen online and the stories I've read, she was lent on very heavily by her own family because of how much media attention it was getting.
Okay.
To just make it go away.
Yeah.
And then she found out she was pregnant. So she got back with him, and they've now had 2 children, I believe.
Okay.
And the reason the police didn't pursue it was because she withdrew her cooperation. Now, the thing is, in that situation, the police can say, well, we don't care, we're going to make you go forward with it. They chose not to for whatever reason. And that's the reason why he's still a free man.
Yeah.
To me, the fact it's high profile sends an even bigger message if you go after him.
Yeah.
Because we've all seen the evidence. Like, all you've got to do is Google Mason Greenwood, and it's going to come up. But what worries me is that this growing thing of like men being cool with it because he can kick a football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I'd like to think if anything like that happened to a player at Palace, like the closest thing we ever had was not to sexual assault, but was it Chiarte? He like said something. He either said something homophobic or supported someone who was
and then we got rid of him.
We immediately got rid of him.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think Palace wouldn't put fans in that position
I don't think
anyway.
they would.
But how would you feel, say for example, like when Zaha was in his prime? And by the way, this is in no way saying Wilfried Zaha has done any of these sort of things.
He has not.
I love Wilfried Zaha. But if someone like him or Michael Elise or Berriese, like one of the best players we've had, if that came out about them and they didn't get done for it,
unfortunately, I'd want him gone. I would 100% want him gone.
Yeah, because it worries me.
It doesn't matter the amount of talent you have on a football
if you're
pitch,
that sort of human being.
It shouldn't excuse you from doing stuff like that.
No, it shouldn't
make you untouchable.
No,
and yes, he's still playing football, but it is in the French league.
Yeah. Mbappe looks good in the French league.
Yeah. Doesn't look very good in the Real Madrid.
No, I think he's a fraud myself. I think he's just a pace merchant.
Yeah. And that's why I think that we were saying this about on the previous episode about the Ballon d'Or. I think the same with Vinny Jr.
Oh yeah, you don't like Vinny Jr., do you? I think he's a much better player than Mbappe, though, in terms of technically. When I watch him play, he's capable of far more with a football.
You see how crucial Rodri has been to Manchester City.
Yeah, he's a bit mad, to be fair. But then, to be fair, before he got injured, I remember hearing that they'd like 60-something games he'd won in a row.
Yeah.
Like, he hadn't lost a game in that many games, and like, it's pretty fucking impressive.
Shows how good Rodri is.
Well, it shows that we had no fucking chance in the Euros with him in the base of that midfield.
Yeah.
But even when they took him off, they had another player just as good.
Yeah. But it shows how good Rodri is, and it shows why he did win the Ballon d'Or. I know,
but the thing is, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we don't want the same people winning the Ballon d'Or every year, and we miss when like unsung heroes get it. But I was sort of like, really, Rodri? I was like, look, he's achieved a lot. He's clearly a very good player, very impactful. So, like, yeah, fine. Like, cool. But it's not, you sort of want, I don't know, you want the Vinny Juniors of the world, ones that are lighting up a football pitch.
I would have preferred Bellingham over Vinny Jr. as well.
Yeah, I think his Euro form is what probably tanked that for him, though, to be honest, because he was dog shit at the Euros.
The bicycle kick, though, against Slovakia.
Yeah, one good moment. But other than that,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I think of when he's not been good at all this season as well? He's only scored 1 goal.
What I think of when I watch him, though, he feels like he's got big main character energy. That when he sees himself as the main character of every story.
Yeah.
And you see it like he feels like he's always forcing things when I watch him play.
Yeah.
And like in some games, you need that. You need someone who's going to break the lines, who's just going to take the ball and fucking go. But there's other moments where it's like just be part of the machine.
That's, I think, again, we're going to quickly shift over to Palace quickly.
Please do.
That is what's happened with Eze this season, because he's taken on the main man role.
Well, and the thing is, I remember talking to you and Jake about this when we were all, I think we all did the episode together.
Yeah.
One of my worries was at the end of last season was like, we've had this great end, but we also had a really good end under Roy Hodgson, and then it went to shit.
Yeah.
And I also said that I was worried if you go back and look at the results on that run, so many of those games were turned on a dime by Michael Elise. And then we've sold him and brought in, with all due respect, someone who's not as good in
Daichi Kamada.
And also Ismail Assar. And I feel for Daichi Kamada, to be honest, because like he's not a bad player. It's just not working.
It's not working at the minute. Yeah.
He
was saying that it wasn't a good game on Saturday.
The game where he scored.
That was the Villa game. That's the Villa
his
game.
match rating was dog shit in the first half.
Yeah.
So
Second half, he played all right, actually.
Yeah, he's clearly a good player.
And he played all right against Wolves as well.
I think it might just be the settling into the... And he's also taken up the role of Michael Elise, and that's not what he is.
He's not playing there because we've got so many bloody injuries at the minute.
Yeah.
Because he's playing that holding role when he should be on the wing.
What do you think's gone wrong for Palace this season?
Michael Elise is a massive loss.
It's clear from his performances at Bayern Munich that he's clearly a world-class player.
Of course it is. It's huge how much we miss his directness. Because he will pick up the ball
and just quality. It's just quality as well. Quality. And also it's being able to back yourself, because there's one thing thinking like, oh yeah, I could have a shot from here, but there's another thing knowing I'm going to put it in the back of the net. Yeah. And he did it time and time and time again. He's still doing it at Bayern Munich.
I think obviously losing that good partnership at the back between Anderson and Gay is not great. Yeah. I love the look of Lacroix. He looks so good.
He is a good player. He can't pass the ball. No, he can't pass the ball.
Chalobah looks good, and the three at the back look okay.
Yeah,
but they need to gel, and they haven't had.
I feel like we're missing a left-sided attacking fullback or wing-back rather.
Yeah, Mitchell's not.
And we were constantly being like, he's great defensively, but I think I see him as part of the back three rather than wing-back potentially. Because I don't think he offers enough
going forward.
He's phenomenal. Again, a bit like Wan-Bissaka, great at the back but going forward just hasn't quite got it.
That's why I like Daniel Nunes.
Oh yeah, he's got both. He can defend a bit and he can go after it.
But yeah, obviously the amount of injuries that we've got at the minute, it's not
squad depth just isn't there though. That's the problem. Like anyone gets injured.
Who was the youngster, the under-23s captain who played the other day?
Oh, I can't remember his name either.
I can't remember. He looks all right actually.
Well, look, that's the thing. We've got really good young players.
You hear Jez Raksaki, who's on loan at Sheffield United.
Okay.
Been called up to the under-21s for England.
Nice.
So
he just needs football.
Yeah. But again, we gave him football last season, and it didn't.
A little bit. I think it would be. I don't think we gave him anywhere near enough. Someone like that needs to be starting regularly.
Yeah.
Like I remember, Neil Warnock when he went to QPR. The first time he saw Adel Taarabt, one of the coaches said, "Boss, stay clear of him. He's going to get you sacked."
Yeah.
And he watched him, and he was like, "What are you talking about? Like, look how fucking good he is."
Yeah.
And he ended up saying to Adel Taarabt, like, in the next game, you're going to start. No matter how well you play, you're going to start. It's fine. You'll get the whole game as well. And if you play shit, don't worry about it, because the next game I'm going to start you again. And you just have to have that sort of faith in a player and give him the chance.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But at the same time, he had Michael Elise in front of him, and they play in the exact same position. So he had no chance, to be honest with you.
No.
But yeah, I think we've done the right thing loaning him out.
Yeah.
Would you stick with Glasner?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've put your faith in that manager.
Yeah.
To bring him in.
How long do you leave it though? How far does that faith go? I think you've got to give him another window.
I think you've got to give him as long as you can. As long as you think.
What we're going to go down
until you think.
How long do we leave it till he picks up the phone to Roy? Come on.
Again, it's who else is there out there that will want to
come to Palace I think
we
should keep Glasner as well. I think the problem isn't Glasner. I think the problem is the recruitment was, for the first time in a while, a bit shit, to be honest with you.
We didn't replace.
We let too many good players go. Didn't bring in. I don't particularly rate either Ayew or Edouard, but you don't let both go and not replace them. Not with Eddie Nketiah, who's been a bit.
Yeah, he's not been great. It has been a little bit.
I was excited because I didn't realise him and Eze were like best mates. So I was hoping that would.
Eze's not had a good season at all.
No, but then he didn't have a good Euros particularly either when he played it. But not that he got that much time.
He didn't get much. Yeah, as I said, didn't get much time. But hopefully when they both come back, maybe that partnership will. It's just time. It's time. We've got
how
many new players we've got? We've got Chalobah. We've got Lacroix.
I like Chalobah.
Yeah, I like Chalobah. You've got Saar who's come in. You have Nketiah who's come in.
Yeah,
and these are first team players. The people who are
and then Wharton's not been fully fit the entire season.
Mateta still looks knackered.
Yeah,
he just doesn't look himself. He doesn't look like he was at the end of last season.
No,
I don't know why that. No, it doesn't. But
I think that's just the amount of footballers play.
Yeah.
I think they all burn out. I think they all like. And Mateta went, wasn't it, to the Euros and the Olympics?
He didn't go to the Euros. He just went to the Olympics.
Just to the Olympics, but still, it's a lot of football.
He was still training with Palace before he went to the Olympics. So
yes, he had no time off over the summer
whatsoever.
No. So yeah, I mean, I hoped Eddie Nketiah would do better, and it was a lot of money to spend on him as well.
It is. But again, is he being played in the right position because he's been playing on the wing?
Yeah, I'd imagine out of necessity more than anything.
I think so. That's the problem. And is he too much of a less skillful Eze in the position that he plays? Because he plays behind the striker.
See, I see him as a striker, though.
Well, you see him as a striker?
I see him as a striker. I would put him up front and I'd put balls over the top and let him get in behind. Yeah. Most teams play a higher line now.
Yeah.
Or even if you're going to play him out wide, again, get him behind.
In behind. That's yeah.
He shouldn't be dropping deep to come and get the ball. Again, if you want to sit him off the striker, fine, but he needs to be making runs in behind so that Mateta can do the big man thing. And do you know what I mean? So
100%. I get that.
But I think what we've lost out of the team when we lost Anderson was, I don't think we appreciated how much his passing played a role in Palace's success. But he was also a defensive liability at times.
Saturday,
that's the thing.
And you just see him spread the ball. You're like, I missed that so much.
Well, the thing is, it takes pressure off of your team as well.
It does, doesn't it?
So
because he will ping that ball.
Anyway,
and he'll find it.
Yeah.
And he'll find it all the time.
But the downside to him was that he was occasionally a defensive.
There was a couple of times on Saturday where his mistake nearly let us.
But he also can create magic.
Yeah,
so,
You
know, but if I'm playing FM and I get that offer for a player of his age, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
like you're letting him go.
Yeah,
so I don't blame the club for letting him go. We replaced him with
a guy on TikTok who
we brought in two defenders. So
yeah, it was good for all parties.
Yeah.
It was good for us because we got the money.
Someone told me he took a pay cut.
No, he got a pay rise.
That's what I thought.
He 100% got a pay rise.
Because he wanted a pay rise to stay at Palace.
Fulham got a good enough defender.
Yeah.
And Anderson.
I like Fulham's squad, by the way.
Yeah, and Anderson got to stay in London as well.
Yeah,
whose squad, they've done really well, bought really good players who have done absolutely nothing. West Ham.
Yeah.
The amount of players
that's sort of West Ham's way, though, isn't it? They buy good players and then they're not actually good.
Nothing does it.
Like Paqueta, not really.
Yeah.
He's all right.
He's not done anything.
Jared Bowen has moments.
Yeah. There's a bought in Wan-Bissaka they bought in as well.
Yeah, again, he started well, but
he's not really done much.
No. Yeah, like if you were to, and every striker they sign tends to be shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who. Like I was told the guy,
the
30-year-old,
the full crook.
Yeah, has he even played? I don't think I've heard.
He's injured.
There you go. So that's worked out well. Because I was going to say, I don't think I've heard his name once. So I haven't, because he hasn't been playing.
Aston Villa have been a bit of a letdown. I know they're probably because they're
playing
too many games.
Football, lack of squad depth. Clubs of that size always
quality though.
Yeah, but I still prefer Ollie Watkins for me. Yeah. Still like Watkins.
Not getting any points for my fantasy football team at the minute.
I didn't bother with that. I make a fantasy football team and then don't touch it for the rest of the year. And like halfway through the season, not even halfway. Like I remember, like maybe 4 games in, the first game last year, I was like, oh fuck, I might actually be able to make a fist. And then by the second, third, and fourth week, I was like,
I'm done. Can't bother.
Well, all it takes is for someone to like triple captain Haaland, and they've won the league.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I give up on it.
I take it a little bit too seriously, but that's because all my other mates
take
it too seriously.
The fans are still angry. What I find hilarious about Palace fans, right, is as soon as we start struggling, the board, like Parish in particular, gets it in the air, and it's like, look, I think the recruitment wasn't enough. They needed to buy more players. I'm not particularly angry with the players they've bought.
But we haven't bought, as I said, we haven't bought
enough
strength
players.
In depth yet.
No, I think we definitely needed a left wing back to challenge at the very least.
Yeah,
Mitchell, but we haven't even got anyone to challenge him.
No.
Well, we brought Eddie Nketiah in.
Should we have brought in another winger to replace Ayew as well? We haven't replaced Ayew at all.
That's fine.
Scored for Leicester the other day.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals since he's got there. Big deal.
It's more than what he did for us probably for the last couple of seasons.
Let's all get excited because he scored 2 goals. One of them was a worldie, but it was against like a League One side.
Yeah. And then he scored. It was the weekend we went to Wolves. He scored in the 94th minute.
He's a decent player. He's a decent player. I don't think I've ever called him shit. Well, maybe I have called him shit, but I've been hyperbolic. But fuck it.
Yeah,
he's gone now. He's dead to us.
Cool.
How do you? I don't think I've ever talked to you about this. How do you feel about the Royals?
The Royals?
Yeah. Are you a monarchist? Are you for?
I don't mind.
King and country,
they bring in a lot of money for tourism and everything like that.
Yeah, I was big into it, mate. I was like you. I was like, yeah, because we've always been told to like them. We've been brought up with it. It's just part of the fabric. When I found out that there's more tourism to the Palace of Versailles in France than there is to Buckingham Palace every year.
Really?
And they haven't had a royal family for hundreds of years. Yeah. More people go to see that than Buckingham Palace. So the tourism argument, actually, it might improve if we get rid of
it. They're okay. They're there, aren't they?
Did you hear about the stuff recently?
That
they've got secret money.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, is this what you talked about in the podcast last week?
Oh, did you listen?
I listened to the first 20 minutes of it.
But yeah, basically the king and the heir hold duchies that have holdings. And they're doing dodgy shit with it and making loads of money, charging the NHS, the army.
People with money do that, though, don't they?
Yeah, but we don't. Why do we need to pay them? If they've got their own dodgy money, why are we paying them money?
This is true.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm actually for getting rid of them now. Which a couple of years ago I would have thought I wouldn't have thought I'd get there, but I think particularly the Queen dying.
Are they not a necessary evil?
Why are they necessary?
Just asking the question. I don't know.
I would argue they're not necessary.
No, you don't think so?
No, there's loads of countries around the world that used to have a monarchy that don't anymore. Like America. I mean, no, America's not the greatest example. We were.
When did America have a monarchy?
Us.
Oh, okay.
When we owned it.
All right, yeah. Okay, fair enough. But they never.
But I was like, it's gone well and not well for America.
But technically, America never had because.
No, they had, whoever our king was at the time, he was king.
Yeah, but they weren't technically.
They're part of the empire.
Yeah, but they weren't technically. They weren't technically the United States of America, then, were they?
No, they became the United States of America afterwards.
Yeah, so the United States of America never had monarchy because. They fought the war to get rid of the monarchy, to get rid of British rule. Lawyers.
Where's the button? Where's the button, Alex?
Boom. Lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's semantics, but I'm not getting bogged down on.
You gave it to me.
I did give it to you, but it's because we've never used the sound bites. It's worth using it.
Cool. So yeah, I don't mind.
You're just not bothered.
Yeah, it's
fair enough. You don't think they're causing any harm?
No.
Apart from Prince Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Skirt over
just raping women. It's not
good.
Causing any harm. Not that I'm expecting you to answer for Prince Andrew, by the way. I'm not.
I like Pizza Express.
There's nothing wrong with a Pizza Express. I think they're a bit skimpy. Like you get like maybe a couple of slices of pepperoni on your pizza.
I had a sloppy Giuseppe one the other day. It was very nice.
Is that the one with beef and stuff on it?
Yeah,
it's like their meat.
It's like their meat.
It's not bad. I've tried that. They used to do it. I don't know if they still do it. They used to do one with an egg in the middle.
Ooh.
And that used to be really nice.
I love their dough balls as well.
Yeah, they're all right. I think they're a bit overhyped.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit overhyped.
A little bit like Nando's for you, isn't it?
I just don't get it. I really don't get it. It used to make sense back in... I'm aware it's just chicken.
No, that's your argument. It's just chicken.
It is just chicken.
Yeah, and it's overpriced chicken.
It is like back in the day when we were going out. I understood why we went because for a tenner you could get a meal and a drink and you were sorted.
Yeah.
But I bet it's not like that now.
You can still do that.
I bet it's fucking half the size it used to be.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
It's taken Britain by storm. It's a national treasure, and I don't get it.
No.
So yeah.
I like a cheeky Nando's. I don't mind a cheeky Nando's.
When the Archbishop of Banterbury calls. You're a big fan of Harry Potter.
I love a bit of Harry Potter.
I want a little bit of a Harry Potter chat to end the pod. Okay. Something nice, something that I'm... how much do you love it? Because you listened... Jake has slagged you off for listening to the audio books.
I've also found this... Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Oh.
Oh, no, I am. Of course I am. Because he has said about it on the pod before. So his missus does exactly the same as what I do.
okay. His new partner.
Yes, listens to the audiobooks at night.
Okay. I didn't know.
He does not like that.
No, he doesn't like it when you do it.
But she has to put her headphones in when he's around hers.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. It's a difficult one over sleeping arrangements.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's not. My mum listens to books when she goes to sleep. I don't know how people do that.
I can't. I need to have some background noise for me to fall
asleep.
I
have the television on, but it's on 0.
So something bright.
Yeah, and then I end up I'll put something blocking it.
What's the point having the TV on then?
Because it's just nice to know it's on.
What is that?
Ash gets annoyed with me when we go to Lindsay's because we're obviously sharing a sleeping area. And I like to have the telly on, and he because I fall asleep quite quickly. He'll wait for me to fall asleep, and then he turns the TV off, and that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. It probably comes from, and I'm less afraid of the dark now, but I used to be really afraid of the dark when I was a kid.
It's just something there.
So it's probably just a hangover of that. But quite often, when Leanne will be over, she'll be like, "Do you want the telly on?" And I'll be like, "No, I'm fine."
Yeah.
And I'll just turn over and go to sleep.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I can do it.
But I don't want to be able to hear what it is.
Oh, right. I can go to sleep without. Easily done it before, but I like that comfort of having something there.
Yeah. Plus, it's Stephen Fry's voice from Harry Potter books, isn't it?
I love his voice so much.
He's a magnificent man.
He's done the audiobooks really well as well.
I can imagine.
Done really, really well.
I can imagine. I've never listened to them.
You never listened to them? Oh, okay.
I'm not a big book guy.
No?
No.
What are your thoughts on the J.K. Rowling of it all?
To be honest, it's a difficult one because I think there's a validity to some of the concerns people like her have.
Yeah.
In terms of trans women using women's spaces.
Yeah.
I've also been quite public about the fact I'm uncomfortable with the idea of trans women competing in female sports.
Yeah.
But my opinion on that basically comes down to, are the other athletes okay with it?
Yeah.
If they are, then who the fuck am I to say anything? But it does genuinely seem that most female athletes aren't okay with it from what I've seen. Did you see with Sutton United? There was a recent thing with that. They're because they're co-owned by. Have you ever watched Married at First Sight?
No.
There's one of the guys who's the host, one of the matchmakers on that.
Okay.
He's one of the co-owners of Sutton United.
Okay.
And they've got a women's team, like most clubs do, and their manager is trans, a trans woman, and they tried to bring in a trans woman to be in the team.
Yeah.
Her own teammates refused to play.
Yeah.
I haven't looked up on what's happened with that since. That was about a month or so ago.
Okay.
With J.K. Rowling, I think she's definitely taken it too far from some of the stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
And she seems to sort of enjoy the attention
yeah.
So for me, that then waters down what her views actually are.
But
because
does that take away from your enjoyment of Harry Potter?
No, not in the slightest. Yeah. No, because we grew up with it, and me and Jake have always talked about, to a degree, you need to be able to separate someone's art from who they are. Quite often, people who create incredible things are very flawed and damaged human beings.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling is one of them.
Yeah.
Is she intelligent, capable, and written an incredible book franchise?
Yes.
She absolutely has. Has she managed to create one of the best adaptations of a book series? She absolutely has.
Yeah.
So I think she deserves credit for those things, but I think she needs to wind her neck in a little bit. What about you? What do you think?
I know 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
There are our own opinions. There are maybe a bit outlandish, but you've got to, because there was a lot of when Hogwarts Legacy came out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trans people saying, "Don't buy the game. If you buy the game, you're contributing to transphobia and everything like that." It's like
that's not fair to put on people.
No. Unfortunately,
there's hundreds of people who would have worked on that game to develop it. They've put their blood, sweat, and tears into making that game, and you're saying because one person's mistakes that should be boycotted 100%. And it shouldn't be successful.
No,
that's not fair.
And then that is again, is that damaging the trans community? they're saying that, and they're saying they shouldn't be doing that.
I reckon you probably find a lot of the time when these things happen, it's people that aren't actually in that community who kick up most of the fuss.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if most of the people asking them to boycott it aren't even trans. Yeah. They might know someone trans or be connected to people that are trans.
I saw on TikTok there was quite a lot of trans
there will definitely be some trans people doing it. I mean, it will, for some people, it will damage them. The problem is there transphobic abuse out there, and a lot of people who hate trans people? There absolutely are.
Yeah.
So they are, but they're also a very small minority group. So like the fear of the damage they can do to society isn't actually a big issue.
No.
The way I come down on it personally, I don't understand trans. I can't put myself in the mindset of how you get there because I've never felt those feelings.
Yeah, 100%.
Are they causing anyone harm?
No, of course they're not.
Do I think some of the things they're doing to their bodies aren't good? Yes, I do genuinely think that. But it is not my place to tell someone what they can do with their body.
If they want to do it to
themselves, someone fully cognizant decides I want to make alterations to my body, that is completely
up to them.
But they then have to accept if later down the line they're not happy with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But again, that's not for me to...
No, 100%. I agree with that 100%.
I am, again, uncomfortable with the idea of children transitioning. I don't think there's enough information to know what effect that really has. Like, Jake has argued with me that puberty blockers don't have a long-term effect. I don't think people transitioning on them has been around. This is just my personal opinion.
It's not been around long enough for it to
For me, it's the same as the vaccines during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying, like, oh, no, there's no long-term side effects. You've not tested it long-term. How? So, it's because for me, it's either one or two things in that situation. Either we've lied all along about what's necessary to create this thing, or we've just decided now we don't give a fuck and we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's a bit like that for me. But at the same time, if that's what people want to do, they have the free will to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't like the dishonesty in saying that people would never transition to abuse it or to abuse people because they absolutely will.
Of course they will.
They absolutely will. There are scumbags out there, and mostly men.
Yeah.
Men are fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
So do I think there's men out there that will pretend to transition to hurt people?
Yeah.
I absolutely think they would.
Yeah.
So I think it's dishonest from the trans side of it to say that isn't a valid concern.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the solution to it is. So
there it is.
But back to Harry.
Okay, yeah, that's a wild tangent.
No, it's an important question.
Yeah.
Favourite book or film?
Favourite
or both, book and film, because they're different.
Favourite book is Half-Blood Prince.
Solid.
Favourite film would probably Prisoner.
That's Leanne's favourite. My favourite book is probably the last one.
Yeah, definitely.
But not my favourite film. I loved the last book.
Yeah.
But I think the last film sort of let that book down a little bit, to be honest. Just for me.
Favourite film?
That changes. I would say it's either Goblet. I love Goblet.
Or Order.
Or Half-Blood.
Okay.
It's between them three. It sort of changes on...
Sorry. The Half-Blood Prince, the book is 100% better than...
I don't mind the film, though.
I don't mind the film.
For the emotional impact of the ending. And
I don't like how they've done Harry and Ginny so dirty as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember much from the books.
The Harry and Ginny romance between the two is so much better.
Well, it's sort of out of nowhere in the films, isn't it? One minute he's into Cho, and then the next film he's fully into Ginny. So, yeah.
But, yeah, I like the romance between Ginny and Harry more in the books than I do in the films.
That's fair. But I think Order of the Phoenix is potentially up there for me because of the Sirius moment as well. Because that really upset me when I was young, because it was like
when Sirius died.
Spoilers. And my dad fucked that for me royally because I hadn't read the book.
Oh, okay.
And we were going to the cinema to see it, and I was like, I'm really excited to see this. He was like, yeah, it's a shame Sirius dies, though, isn't it? And I'm like, I think it's the only time I've ever sworn at my dad. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, excuse me, and I was like, Sirius dies? And he was like, I thought you read the book. And I was like, no, I fucking haven't. And I didn't want to see the film after that. I did, but I did. I was fuming inside. And then when he died, I was even angrier. But yeah, like, because it's the first member of family he's had that he was beginning to get close to, develop a relationship with, then to him to taken away.
So she chose. So she knew somebody was going to die in that book.
Yeah.
She didn't know who it was going to be. She couldn't make her mind up between Arthur or Sirius.
I think Sirius is the better choice.
Oh, she made the better choice, 100%.
Yeah, I think
for
that
the
has more.
the
It would
emotional
have
damage.
been upsetting seeing Arthur die, but nowhere near as
Yeah.
bad as Sirius. I think that has more of a, because it isolates Harry. It sort of.
What is the death that hit you the hardest when you read the books?
Probably Dumbledore.
Okay.
I really didn't want him to die.
No.
I'm a big I'm ride or die for Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I think he's misunderstood. I think he's seen as a potentially evil character.
Yeah.
And it was something I was actually going to ask you about. What was your worst death?
Worst death.
That and Hedwig. I was really upset when Hedwig
I was just about
got
to say
killed.
when Hedwig died. When Dobby's
Yeah, that
Dobby's
does
the big
hit
one,
hard.
isn't it?
That does hit hard.
Oh,
What a legend. Rippers.
Because Dobby is so much better in the books than he is in the film, because he is hardly ever in the.
We're going to raise our wands for Dobby. It's belated.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Rippers.
But yeah, because he's what? So between Chamber of Secrets and the first part of Deathly Hallows, he's not there.
No.
So, but within the books, he's there from. So he only misses Prisoner.
Really?
Yeah, he's in Goblet of Fire, he's in Order of the Phoenix, and he's in Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
So he's in all three of those books.
And then it's just.
That's why it hurts more in the books when he dies than
you
it
get
does in the
more of
film.
him.
You get more of him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty heartbreaking on screen as well. Still.
Yeah. Because it's Dobby who.
Because I think because he wasn't in the other film.
Yeah.
You've just got Dobby back. He saved the day, and.
It's Dobby who gives Harry the gillyweed, not Neville.
Is it?
In the books, yeah.
Right. Fair enough. God, I need to reread the books.
It's Dobby who tells Harry about the room of requirement.
Shit.
Not Neville.
I didn't know that.
What else does Dobby do? He tells Malfoy for Harry in Half-Blood Prince.
Wow.
With Creature, because you don't know because when Sirius died, Creature goes to Harry.
Because does he inherit that whole house?
He inherits the whole house.
Right, okay.
And then because he doesn't want to keep Creature, he sends him to Hogwarts to go work in Hogwarts, because Dobby goes to work in Hogwarts.
I didn't know that.
No? Because then you miss out on the character.
I couldn't tell you when I last read the book.
You miss out on Winky as well, who is...
is he a clown?
No, Winky is another house elf.
Right.
Who, Mr. Crouch from...
Barty Crouch.
Barty Crouch, yeah. So it's Barty Crouch's house elf, but because they've skirted, they skimmed off the top of the whole of that storyline.
Yeah.
You miss all that. Yeah. Dobby is such
It'll
an
be
integral
interesting.
part
Are you
of
looking forward to the TV series?
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. 100%.
The castings, I'm really interested to see.
Yeah.
Whether they go all British again or...
Are they going to go all white again as well? Because, in The Cursed Child, Hermione's mixed race.
Yeah. Well, I've heard J.K. Rowling talk about the fact she never actually mentions a skin colour for Hermione. She just mentions she's got dark curly hair.
Yeah.
Because I remember that being like it blew up, didn't it, when they did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see how, because apparently what they're going to do is so is it either 1 or 2 chapters per episode?
Really?
Because obviously,
how many chapters are there per book?
Well, but you got to think the first 3 are quite small, aren't they?
Yeah.
So are they going to elongate?
Because they're one book a season, aren't they?
They're going to try and do 1 book a season.
Yeah.
But what are they going to do with the episodes? Are they going to put stuff into Philosopher's Stone?
I think they're still casting, so we're a long way off of it.
It's because are they going to condense the story again? Because
they'll have to, because me and Jake discussed this in length on one of our other episodes. If you want to go back and listen to that, can books really be adapted?
Yeah.
You just don't have enough time.
Yeah.
To include everything, no matter what the book is. So yeah, they're going to have to condense. Some characters are still going to get cut.
Yeah,
but it will be interesting to see how different it is from the films. I think it'll be quite different.
There's also another big character that they did cast, but they cut him out of the film. Was Peeves, because Rick Mail was supposed to be playing Peeves in the Poltergeist.
Yes, I've seen him interviewed about it. He said it's the easiest. He said I don't give a fuck. I still got paid.
Yeah.
It'll be one of the things that'll be interesting to see, because when I've watched like the 20th anniversary thing or whatever it was, and they had Christopher Columbus on, and he said the whole purpose of the first film was to build the world of Harry Potter, because we'd never seen it before. So it'll be interesting to see, do they try and do that again? But the thing is, in the first series, or are they going to be like, look, they all know this world, we can do what we want with it, make it darker?
That's the problem. The book does that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go by the book, you're going to have to redo it again.
Yeah.
Because again, there are going to be a newer generation of kids
that have never
seen the film, who will want to watch the TV series before they watch or even read the book.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to reintroduce it.
Have you ever been to Harry Potter World?
No, that's the one thing I've not done.
Maybe it's something we can organise. It's not cheap anymore.
I know.
It's a shame. It's like £75 a person.
Crazy. That's kind of what puts me off about it.
It used to be £38 a ticket.
So commercialised.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been enough times now that I can avoid spending a lot of money when I go there.
Oh, the thing is, I won't. I think I'm quite good at that. If I go somewhere and go with,
I've got both of Dumbledore's wands.
Oh, okay.
The Elder Wand and the one before the Elder Wand.
Oh, okay. Oh, because of Grindelwald, the Fantastic Beasts one.
Indeed.
Yeah, that went a bit south, didn't it, in the end?
Well, yeah, when you lose Johnny Depp,
it
wasn't quite the same. And I like Mads Mikkelsen, but I don't think he quite pulled it off. Whereas I've heard other people say they thought he smashed it. But
they cancelled that series now.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
it's done.
It's done.
It's a shame, because we never got the epic fight between.
Yeah.
That was the bit I was looking forward to the most, was because I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, that will happen in the third or fourth film.
Yeah.
And then the third film came out and they were like, oh no, it's going to happen in the fourth. And then they said, there's no longer a fourth.
No longer going to be a full film.
So yeah, it's a shame.
But as you can tell by my vast knowledge, I'm quite into Harry Potter.
How do you feel about Dumbledore? He's a controversial figure in the Harry Potter fandom.
He is because I know there is quite a lot of things about.
I'm going to send you
manipulating Harry,
a video series
like that.
you might like actually on YouTube.
Okay.
And I've watched it a few times because it's fascinating. These two blokes on YouTube, they're called the Carlin brothers.
Yes, I know.
Have you watched the series about Dumbledore's secret plan?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And like, did he manipulate Harry's life, knowing that he was going to potentially have to die one day, with also the secret knowledge of that he might get to survive, but there was a good chance he might not?
Yeah.
And manipulated not just Harry's lives, but hundreds of other people's to get him to that moment to die by Voldemort's hand. With a lot of different things in flux and that he couldn't control either. He did the hard thing. He knew there was only one way to defeat Voldemort. I actually can't do it. I'm going to have to potentially sacrifice this poor lad
boy,
who doesn't deserve it, but it's that or everyone dies. Or he'll end up enslaved. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah, for him to...
And he sacrifices himself
He does
as well.
He does sacrifice
and
himself.
admittedly, maybe he wouldn't have done that if he hadn't have been stupid enough to put the ring on and get cursed in the first place. But as soon as he knew, he was like, okay, cool, I've got to die.
Then. Yeah.
I'll work this into the plan.
I think...
And one of my favourite moments in all of those books and in the films is the moment between Harry and
Snape.
No, Dumbledore, after Harry gets hit with the Avada Kedavra.
Oh right, in King's Cross.
Yeah, I love that's one of chokes me up nearly every time.
There's another thing that the film's done dirty that the book's done brilliantly is Snape's actual story.
Oh really?
Between him and Lily. So much better in bloody books than
I think I'm going to have to go back and read the books.
Read the books, even get the audiobooks.
Yeah. Well, Leanne's got them all on her Audible, so I could listen to hers, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I'm quite a visual person, so like, if the audiobooks had like animation or something like that, not even like...
Stephen Fry's voice will bring it to life for you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It really does. He paints such a good picture.
I've heard he's very good with the voices.
Yeah, but the Americans love it's Jim Dale, isn't it? Who does the American version of the books.
Okay, who's Jim Dale?
Jim Dale. He's British as well. He's quite.
Why not just put Stephen Fry in the USA? Do you know what I mean? Is it just because he's not known?
Because probably he wasn't as well known as.
Fair enough.
Jim Dale.
He's a national treasure, mate.
Of course he is.
A national treasure. Alex, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
I meant to write down the socials for you to have in front of you so we could shock Jake and you do the exit, but I will.
I remember the email.
Right, well, when it's time for the email, I will tell you.
Okay.
But I would like you to point at the screen. Guys, as you'll see on the screen now if you're on YouTube, but I'm going to tell you the socials as well. You can find us on Facebook at Crossing Swords, on Twitter at Swords Crossing, on Instagram and TikTok at CrossingSwords_podcast, and you can email us at
CrossingSwords19@gmail.com.
Smashed it. Smashed the back doors in. Alex, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the lovely chat as always.
Always.
It's nice to talk about Harry Potter as well.
God,
we went all over the shop.
We did go a bit everywhere, didn't we?
But I liked it.
I always love chatting with you.
And guys, I have no doubt you're going to see Alex again soon because he's become one of the unofficial hosts of.
Jake will probably bugger off again and abandon us.
I mean, I think he's back for a week and then gone again.
Yeah.
But guys, we will see you next time.